Hello and welcome to another episode of the Video Creator Show. I am Grant here with Augie, and today we are talking about 6 YouTube channels that you can absolutely learn from. Now, one of the hardest things about succeeding on YouTube is knowing how you can make a channel thrive and have a consistent, reliable method for growing. So these are some channels that we're going to go through that are really nailing it. They have figured out a way to consistently make videos in a way that I think is very clever, and Augie thinks is very clever, and it's really working for them. So sometimes we overthink how to do YouTube, and these are just some examples of channels that are not overthinking it, and they are just, it's working for them. So without further ado, let's jump into it. All right, so the first example I want to jump into, this is a channel called Little Joel. Now, he has a super simple concept. He just points the camera at his face and kind of reacts at things that are happening. So he'll usually just have a sort of Bill Maher is so odd. So here's a video where Bill Maher, if you don't know who he is, he's essentially a show host. I believe he's a boomer, and he often has some political opinions that some people think are unsavory. Some people really like him. But in this video, Little Joel just kind of reacts to something Bill Maher says, and, you know, criticizes him, and he has some good opinions. He's not the biggest on combing his hair, and it works for him. And this is just proof that you don't have to overthink things. Like, all of his videos are just him kind of reacting to things on Twitter. He's just recording a screen, and he's getting over 100,000 views on some of these videos. He has almost 100,000 subscribers. So this is a guy who essentially just points the camera at his face, records his screen, gives his opinion, and then that's it. Minimal editing, minimal effort, minimal research. Really mainly what he brings to the picture. He has a pretty good camera presence, and I think in general he has strong opinions that are, in my opinion, usually valid, or at least, he's not trying to be controversial, but he's a reaction channel. And I think reaction channels in general are a pretty easy way to grow, because you're always piggybacking off of a trend, and all you have to do is have an opinion and to say it well. And that's kind of the gist of what you bring to the table. It doesn't require any complex editing. So as far as the work to payoff ratio, I think Little Joel, a channel like this is really hard to beat. So, Augie, how do you feel about reaction channels in general? So for me, I do feel like they're an essential part of the ecosystem, kind of calling people out. But I don't know, you're kind of piggybacking off negativity sometimes. But yeah, what do you think of this? Is it as brilliant as I think it is?
Well, the most brilliant thing about it is the fact that he's polarizing, and I'm sure he's disagreeing a lot, right, with all these different videos that he's reviewing, and that sells. We talked about that recently on a podcast, that, being polarizing, being kind of the opposite, or maybe speaking for the masses, which is basically probably what he's doing. He's kind of saying what everybody else is thinking, but not saying, and he's the one that's willing to kind of put his neck on the line and say that. And I haven't even seen any of his videos, but I know that that's very effective on YouTube and it's entertaining. And that's going to get people to, if they agree with what you say, become super fans and really enjoy your content. As far as reaction videos in general, or reaction channels, I think it's great content, because it's fits exactly kind of what YouTube wants. They want you to be able to post a lot of content, right? Ideally you post 3 or 4 times a week. With reaction videos, you can do that. It's easy. Like you said, he's laying in bed just with the phone out, vlogging while his probably laptop's on his lap. He's watching the video and just going back and forth. So it's easy to pump out content like that. And I think for him, if he sticks with it, if he focuses on not just spewing out the mouth, but being intelligent and having something to say that he could be the next big personality. And it's crazy to say that. And I don't just mean personality on YouTube. Like he could be like a big personality and have his own TV show someday, right? And that's kind of the power of the reaction channels and stuff, is you're almost like building a personal brand. Would
Hmm.
you agree with that, Grant, in a way?
Oh,
Like you kind of are building like a personal, I guess, opinion brand?
absolutely. People come to you
Yeah.
for your opinion because the world is a confusing place, and sometimes it's helpful to have somebody, as you said, to say what everybody is thinking, or at least a certain subset of the population is thinking. So, figure Joel is kind of a representation of what a lot of other people are thinking. And this guy is making $4,000 a month on Patreon. And I
Nice.
mean that's pretty huge. And it's just like, as far as building a personal brand, they tend to be the easiest to monetize in a way
Mm.
because they are, you know, they're just kind of based on a guy. Now, Little Joel is his sort of reaction channel. His main channel is called Big Joel, and this is an important point. Now, he covers a lot of kind of intellectual topics, and but even then his editing is very like it's not complicated, you know. It's a lot of
Hmm.
clips, it's a lot of just cutting to his face talking. He doesn't overcomplicate things, and he's kind of able to focus more on the writing and his opinions and his delivery, and that is essentially his brand. It's still based around what he thinks, and kind of, you know, these intellectual concepts. And I think if you can find a way to build a brand more around writing and your personality, that's always going to be easier than if you have like really complicated videos to edit. It just, if you can avoid that, then you're going to end
Yeah.
up saving yourself a lot of time and money.
Yeah, some creators, they basically don't edit. You know, the ones that are posting, daily and stuff, like they'll just hit that record button, cut off the beginning, cut off the end. They made only one mistake throughout the video, cut that, and then just throw an intro on there and render it out and publish it without even really editing, like a 5 minute edit. And I think that's powerful. You can get by with that with this kind of content, not with all kinds of content, as you know. But one other thing that I wanted to mention is, this reaction channel of his is a second channel. And that is a very common thing. If you are out there creating content and you have a main channel and you're thinking about, I'd love to start a second channel. What should I do? What should I do? It can't take up that much time because it's my second channel. A reaction channel is a great idea. And, I can think of one other person off the top of my head who is Graham Stephan, who's a
Hmm.
personal finance YouTuber. He has his main channel, and then he has a second channel where he does react to people's spending habits. Basically, there's like some series on YouTube where people reveal their spending habits and he reacts to that. So it lines up, it's kind of part of his whole ecosystem of personal finance. But yeah, I think that's a great strategy.
Hmm.
Grant, have you
Yeah.
ever made a reaction video?
No, I have not. I think I've reacted to some things on stream, but I've never actually made a reaction video. I don't tend to watch them very often. I think if I watched them more, I'd be more inclined to make them. I kind of like, I mean, my opinion on reaction videos has always been I would rather just watch the video. It kind of drives me nuts when somebody like stops the video every 5 seconds and inserts their voice and opinion into it. But that's just me. Clearly, people like it. I think it's a valid way to give your opinion on something, and you can kind of go piece by piece. But in general, I prefer, if I am interested in something that's happening, I always want to go to the source and not just have some guy reacting to it. If I've already seen the source video, then maybe
Yeah.
I'll watch a reaction to it. But I think a lot of people, they just go straight to the reaction, and it is a pretty easy way to make money, and to get an audience, and it clearly works.
Yeah. And, the Graham Stephan example, I'm guessing that the people that are watching those videos are just Graham Stephan fans, right? They want more of Graham. They go to the reaction channel. I don't think it's really people interested in the videos that he's actually responding to. But yeah, nonetheless, I have made a reaction video or two in my day in the basketball world. And yeah, I thought it was pretty enjoyable to make, honestly. I think it's you're kind of you're kind of at risk of being cringe. Okay, that's the thing, right? Like you're trying to be funny, you're trying to be entertaining, you're trying to kind of be, maybe diss the video a little bit here and there, but dude, you better be careful because you could be pretty cringy. And I thought I was pretty cringy when I made it. I thought it was fun to make and easy to make, but after watching it, I was just like, I don't not want to build like a whole channel around that,
What were you reacting to?
I was reacting to NBA games. Yeah, giving kind of on my take like on different moves or different plays and that kind of stuff. And I did post it on the main channel, and it did okay. It was for me, it was an attempt to try to create longer videos. All my basketball tutorials were like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. My reaction videos were like 15 minutes or something. So mission accomplished with that. But they never really took off or anything. So 2 or 3 of them, and I was like, okay, this is not really lining up with who I want to be, and it's not growing my channel, so I'm out.
Yep.
I want to remind you that today's episode is brought to you by vidchops.com, which is a flat rate video editing service that allows you to take the burden of editing totally off your hands so that you can focus on more important things in your business. So go ahead, check out vidchops.com if you want to add an expert video editor to your team in just a few clicks. That's vidchops.com. And now back to today's episode.
Yep, fair enough. And so I did want to jump into kind of another example of this. And this is a guy, his main channel is called Pineley. And he is kind of in a similar vein to Joel. But in my opinion, his main channel, it looks like it takes a bit more work to create. So if I can share my screen here, we got Pineley. And he has a lot of really fascinating videos. So the consumerist hell of Logan Paul. This video, he basically talks about Prime Energy drink and the sort of weird culture around it where people will like travel 100 miles to find some Prime Energy drink. And, it seems like just a mediocre, okay energy drink, but it's branded around Logan Paul and KSI, so people get really hyped for it. And he kind of ties it in to a larger picture that I think is really fascinating. And it's really well written. It's very well edited. There's kind of some artistic value to it. He's like, see, he's got like cool lighting. He's got some cool effects and text and filters on everything. He's got a funny puppet he talks to sometimes. It's very artistic, and I think it's really dope. But then he has a channel called Evil Pineley, which I'm gonna share that one. And it's a similar idea to Little Joel. And he just kind of reacts to things, and he doesn't have a larger picture. Like, he doesn't tie things into a larger problem or societal issue. So these videos aren't going to like blow your mind, but the editing is way more simple. And he essentially took his larger audience and has been able to give them more of him on this channel with a lot less effort. And as far as I can tell, it's not like affecting the amount he's able to upload on his main channel. So really, once you establish an audience, you can kind of have these lower effort channels that bring in revenue, that give your audience more of you. And it also allows you, I think, when you have a channel where you're kind of relying on a complex opinion and you're trying to talk about a cultural phenomenon, that can be hard to write. And then there's a lot of little things that are going on that you may as well make content about, but it doesn't belong on your main channel. So I think Evil Pineley is a funny, good example of how he can sort of talk about things he talks about on his bigger channel, but it's not as high effort. And I just think this is a really good model that people can emulate.
Yeah, and I think the cool thing about this model, from my understanding of what you just explained, is that the videos on his second channel that he's creating are related to videos on his first channel. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I love that right there, because that allows you to link back and forth between those videos and get more watch time, get people to stay on YouTube, just basically get more YouTube juice to that video, which you're linking to your own video on a different channel anyway. So you're getting like kind of double whammy there. And I could see somebody on the main channel watching a video and then you having a little call to action like, hey, if you want to see, the R-rated version of this, or the how I really feel about this, or something like that. Click here to watch this video, and then it goes over to the other channel. That would be a pretty cool strategy, I think. But yeah, those his main channel, I'm seeing a lot more creators kind of making those kind of videos where it's just talking head and they're just talking to the camera. They got the cool lights in the background or whatever. Sounds like he's going a little extra mile with a puppet kind of character type as a second
Mm-hmm.
character, which is cool. I love that too. But what these people do then is they kind of script pretty heavily. Would you say that's
Oh
true?
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
so it's pretty heavily scripted the whole thing through, which is great. Uh, Really entertaining video, really funny, but then also very heavily edited with so much B-roll that you wouldn't even know sometimes that this is a talking head video, right? It's just like whatever he's talking about, it's just B-roll and B-roll and B-roll and images here and memes and this. And then every now and then, it clicks over to him and you see that, oh, there's a person talking here. Um, and I think it goes kind of with that strategy that we talk about, how like the first 30 seconds should be heavily edited, right? And so a lot of these type of channels, their first 30 seconds to a minute are like strictly B-roll with like Mr. Beast type text on the screen. And then eventually you see, okay, actually there is somebody talking to the camera. I haven't seen any of this guy's videos. I'm just from what I saw. Is that kind of was that right, Grant, or is that wrong?
Hmm. I mean, yeah, the editing sort of masks that a lot of this is pre-written, so you don't see a lot of jump cuts, and it is very well edited together. And the beginning is more dramatic, and it has more oomph than the rest of the video, and so does the end. I think ending strong also is a little underrated.
Hmm.
But yeah, everything you said is totally correct.
Yeah, and I love those kind of videos. I'm seeing, and a lot of them talk about YouTube culture. Like you say, he's talking about Logan Paul. He's talking about like those kind of things, calling people out, holding them accountable. I'm just, like I said, I really like those kind of videos, and I'm seeing a lot of them popping up lately, and they're very
Hmm.
viral. I feel like they get
Yes.
great reach, and the ones I look at, I'll watch them grow to 1 million subscribers, like within a year or two. So I'm like, wow, pretty cool content. Maybe something for you to consider if your talking head videos are cut and dry, to look at some of these channels and see how are they making these topics entertaining, while still staying kind of in a niche. So anyways, good pick right there. I like that. I'm gonna check it out.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. So those are two examples of mine. Well, not mine, but I found them. I like them. And I think they both kind of occupy the same category where you have a main channel that is complex and is well thought out. And then you have this kind of secondary channel that is much simpler to make lots of videos for. And that's the gist of these two channels that I really wanted to drive home here. So Augie, you have some channels prepared that you were looking to share. So let's see some other geniuses out here. What do we got?
Yeah, yeah. This first one that I wanted to share is a channel that I've mentioned before, but never really dug deep into, and it's called Socialty Pro, or Socialty Pro. I think it's Socialty Pro, and the creator is a guy named Austin Armstrong, who is my Facebook friend, and he does a lot of reporting on Facebook about how his channel's doing, how his business is doing, and stuff like that. So I've kind of been able to kind of follow along. And when I first became friends with him, he was really talking a lot about TikTok. The kind of content that he creates is almost like digital marketing type content. I can go ahead and share my screen and just kind of show you what his channel looks like.
Hmm.
But
Sure.
like I mentioned, he was talking all about TikTok. He was promoting TikTok, TikTok this, you should be creating TikToks. While all along he's learning about YouTube and stuff. And then YouTube Shorts comes out, right? So now he has the opportunity to start posting shorts on YouTube, and he has all of these TikTok videos that he's already been publishing and doing well on TikTok. And he goes and starts uploading these shorts, and you can see his channel currently has 565,000 subscribers. And he basically got all of these subscribers, I would say at least 500,000 of them, through one short. So here it is. It's got 19 million views,
Wow.
and the short is top 5 most useful websites. That's it. So he talks about, hey, he does it in that kind of style, that short style where it's just him, but he's playing two characters, and one person's like I shouldn't be sharing you these websites, but here they go. And the other person's like, oh, I hope we don't go to jail. And then he goes back, number one, Chat GPT or whatever. And he shares these. A lot of them are AI related or whatever. And he just shares these interesting websites. And this one, yeah, grew to 19 million views. The second closest one is 4.4 million views, which is still great. And that's top 5 useful websites. The next one is 1.5 million views on a short, and that's top 5 new useful websites. So you
I'm
can
seeing
see
a trend here.
exactly. Look at these. These are all useful website videos, right? And these are all his top shorts, all about close to a million or way more. But anyways, if you are on TikTok right now and you have not started uploading your TikToks onto YouTube Shorts, then you definitely should do that because the opportunity is there to hit a gold mine here. And the crazy thing is if you go to his regular videos, and I'll go to popular, 6 months ago, the most popular long form video only has 38,000 views.
Wow.
So these subscribers really are coming from the shorts. And let me just jump over before I pass it over back to you, Grant, for your reaction. Take a look at this Social Blade. He's got 787 uploads. Most of them are shorts. User created in 2018, 51 million views. But look at the growth. When I scroll down to the chart, you'll see that he went from September. He got 13,000 views in September of 2022. Okay, so he was getting practically no views. And then he jumped up to 17 million views in 1 month. And then from there, he's getting, close to 10 million views a month. Pretty crazy,
wow. Oh my God, that's huge. I mean, that speaks to the viral potential of shorts. I think you can really make a splash really quickly with YouTube Shorts. Now, my kind of question for this is, like, how is he monetizing, do you think? Because the problem with shorts is you just don't make that much money. I mean, I have a client who I made 2 shorts for them, and combined they have probably 500,000 views. And total, those 2 shorts have made like $15. So, like, does he have a business model built into his channel where he's kind of able to sell something and drive the traffic through a funnel towards, a product or a course or something?
Yeah, so he does have a social media marketing agency. So that's kind of, I think, what he pitches. And he's a digital marketer of some sort. He's definitely building a personal brand alongside this. And now he's doing speaking engagements and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, he's not making a lot off the short views. And, even recently he posted talking about how one video got 3.8 million short views and he made $150. Yeah. So it's not a lot off ad revenue, right? That's his RPM, his revenue per million views was 0.04 cents.
So bad.
Yeah. So you think about the long form revenue or the long form RPMs, right? Is more like $2 to $5, sometimes even $10. I mean, on this kind of content,
even 20.
Yeah, like this digital marketing kind of business related content, like he should be getting probably at least $10, I would say, on a long form. But 150 for 3.8 million views, 4 cents for every 1,000 views. So I don't think YouTube's really figured out the whole ad monetization part on shorts yet because, I don't know if advertisers really want to advertise on them because it's maybe not easy to click to go to your website, or I don't know. I've never advertised on YouTube Shorts personally, but I do see that number going up. Would you agree with that? Don't you think they're going to figure that out and let you make more money?
I think eventually it'll go up a little bit, but I'm of the opinion it's not going to get much better because even February, so this month, we're just about to leave February of 2023 here upon recording this, and it was supposed to go up. The ad revenue for shorts was supposed to go up, and it, from what I can tell, didn't, or if it did, it was pretty negligible because it switched from kind of a pool where there was kind of a set amount of money that would get distributed to creators of shorts. And then it changed more to a model where it was more similar to long form content. So theoretically, the sky is the limit for short form ads, but the views are so oversaturated. Like, you could get 20 million views on a short, and it's not even that hard. And I think because of that, views are always going to be way less valuable on a short than long form content. And, like every time you click on a long form video, an ad or two plays. Whereas with shorts, it's kind of like you're scrolling and then it'll throw you an ad every so often.
Yeah.
And I just think like you're essentially, if it throws you an ad every 5 shorts in like one instance, let's say, then even that ad ideally is going to get split between 5 different shorts. And that's just, it's so much harder to monetize. So I don't know. I think in the long run and now, shorts are good for indirect growth and indirect money. So you could kind of get attention, kind of casual attention. It helps you in the algorithm. If people are watching your shorts, they'll get shown your long form content. But I think as far as direct monetization, like shorts are not the way to go. You should kind of be using them as a means to an end as opposed to like an actual revenue strategy.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to grow your channel, right? Because like, look at this guy who didn't even have a 100,000 subscribers or anything, and now he's got a silver play button on his way to a gold one. And to be honest, these are all, I'm guessing, I don't know for a fact, but these are all videos that he already created and published. They're like kind of like rinse and repeat videos or whatever. So I don't know. It's motivating, right? It's motivating. Like you can really do it. Like, can you grow a channel in 2023? Well, yeah, you can. This guy is done very well, and his overall business because of this is just way further ahead now because there's just a lot of clout. Like I said, he's doing a lot of speaking now. He's a little bit of a celebrity in the space, and the guy just knows what he's doing. He's done well. So I think keeping it up for the long run, that's the hard part because he's got to kind of recreate magic with these top 10 website videos, which it's a formula, right? So if you're looking to create shorts right now, I just don't know what to make them about. Listicles, these are called listicles. Top 10 this, top 5 this. It makes people want to watch every single one. If they go, oh, the first one's good. Oh yeah, that was interesting. The second, let me see the second one. Oh, that was interesting. Oh, the third one's even more interesting. I'm gonna stick around for all of them, and then you get that watch time. And I did recently hear that YouTube is going to reveal, or maybe they already have, and I just missed it, but they're going to reveal a little bit more information on what they're looking for in shorts. Are they looking for comments, likes? Are they looking for watch time, like looping through and watching the same video 5 times? Like, because that's kind of a little bit of a mystery. I mean, I think we all assume that they're looking for watch time because it's YouTube and for people not to click off and all that stuff too. But it would be nice to know, like, even just not from YouTube, but other creators, like, hey, I found that if you can get some, on average, get people to watch your video 2 times through, that, you can 10x your views. Like, knowing those kind of things will help you in creating shorts.
Right.
Have you heard anything about that, what the algorithm wants with those or anything?
I don't think I've heard any direct information. From what I can tell, just looking at what shorts I make that seem to do well, especially kind of with different clients and seeing what works on different channels, the ones that have, 100% or near or more watch time tend to do the best. And it does seem like percentage and actual watch time of the short. So obviously if it's a minute long, the longest you can have a short be, and the watch time is 100% or more, then obviously that short is going to have a very good chance of succeeding. I think just likes and comments in general, like it always helps, but I haven't really seen a huge correlation. Maybe it's like a 10% boost if you're getting excellent engagement. But I think ultimately what YouTube wants is for people to stay on the platform. And, if your short is keeping somebody on the platform for an extra, minute 20 seconds, then you're going to the top. So I do think it is just a matter of watch time. But I am curious what they'll have to say. I don't think it'll be anything too mind-blowing, but I think it's just watch time and, audience retention, as always.
Yeah, no, I think so too. It's because all you gotta do is say, okay, well, what does YouTube want? They want to make money. Okay, well, how do they make money? Through ads. Okay, so what are they going to reward then on shorts? Well, people continue to watch the shorts, not click off, and maybe go to your YouTube channel and subscribe or something like that's a good indicator, I would say, that that it's a good video, but who knows? I think I heard somewhere on some podcast that they were going to reveal that soon or just kind of shed some light. So yeah, is there any other channels, Grant, you wanted to bring up, or you want me to go into another?
Yeah. I have a fun example here.
Let's do it.
Let's bring her up here. So her channel is called The Alchemist, and she essentially covers a lot of new age spiritual topics, and she just kind of talks. She doesn't really cite sources or anything. But she it's just her in front of a camera, and there's an occasional cut to some cool abstract footage, but it's just her talking about, shifting to a new earth, unity consciousness, humans evolving, and it's interesting. She's a good speaker. And I think this is proof that if you have a good camera presence and you have topics that you are passionate about, you can just set up a camera and talk with some good equipment and you'll do well. And of course, her marketing is very good. She has good thumbnails. She does shorts as well, which are kind of in the same vein, but she has kind of the subtitles, which are always a good idea for shorts. You're right. Repurposed content. And she has workshops that she does, and she kind of repurposes some of the recordings from those. And just overall, I feel like this is this is just a really interesting channel because she has clearly worked on her speaking abilities over the years and is really utilizing it in a big way on YouTube. And her thumbnails are really pretty. I think there's an aesthetic to all of it. They're eye-catching. She knows her audience, and I think this is pretty dope. The indigo star seeds, why are they here? For those who don't know, a star seed is somebody who their soul is from another galaxy. So they were incarnated on Earth, but in their past life, they were from Andromeda. So this is a niche that is working, and I'm here for it. I think it's dope. So yeah, just if you can work on your ability to speak clearly and charismatically, you can really succeed without a ton of work. You don't have to kind of cover up your weaknesses in charisma with editing. And I think that is such a huge time saver that a lot of people don't entirely utilize. So and obviously she understands kind of what her energy wants, her audience wants. Energy vampires, for instance, is kind of a big kind of new age topic. People who they're not literal vampires, but just we've all been around people who they just kind of drain you. There's something, I don't know, they complain too much, or they there's something about them that drains your energy. So they've sort of become a spiritual topic of sorts. And I don't know, what are your thoughts on this, Augie? Because it's a kind of a weird example, but it is clearly working very well.
How many subs does she have?
She has 93,000.
Okay, so about to get her silver play button. Probably, my guess is she's at this point right now where she's like, am I going to go full time on this? Or, should I continue working my day job? She's probably getting pretty close there, if not already there. Just kind of depending on how she monetizes it. But if she's doing workshops and stuff like that, then good for her. She's becoming an authority in whatever this space is. I don't understand it personally, but whatever it is, she's going to become an authority, and that's the power of YouTube as well. Is like I said with my basketball training channel, all of a sudden, I'm getting flown to Asia to run clinics and work with players, Vegas, all this. So one person even said, you're famous. I'm like, 200,000 subscribers. I don't think so. But that's the power of YouTube. Like I was a nobody trainer who all of a sudden got these opportunities because of YouTube, and she's might be in the same thing, right? Whatever this topic is, she's super interested. She geeks out on it all the time. She's kind of a fangirl of it. And then one day she's 22 years old and just graduated college, and she's like, "What am I going to do with my life?" And she's like, "Oh, well, I could teach other people about this rabbit hole that I've gone super far down that I'm passionate about." And that's what she's done. And you can go from being the student to the authority, which is pretty cool and pretty powerful. And one of the things that makes YouTube pretty special, I think, is you can actually make a career off your passion, even if there's zero careers out there in that passion, right? Like some topic where you can't get a job in that, right? You can't get a job in, I don't know what her topic is, but think of some random topic like, I don't know, Pokemon cards. Like there's no career in Pokemon cards, but there's definitely YouTube channels that make $1 million a year off reviewing Pokemon cards and doing all that. So I don't know. It's cool. I think it's a cool channel, and she's doing everything right. Her thumbnails, incredible, shorts with great captions, website, workshops, good editing. So yeah, what a pro.
Right. And this is like, it speaks to the importance of kind of having a back end to your channel. So her website, she has private healing sessions, people can book through there. And she does have these workshops, and it's not just the YouTube channel, because, her views aren't insane or anything. She has a total of 4 million views, and her channel is, about 2 years old, which is really good. Most channels do not grow that fast, but, 4 million views total. Like, if she was only using ad revenue, she would not have made very much money at all. In fact, if she's paying an editor and somebody to make her thumbnails, she probably maybe would be breaking even. But I'm guessing, it's always hard to say how much she's making.
Yeah.
But I feel like she has a very dedicated audience. Like with this kind of stuff, she probably gets a lot of people who do book through her website and who do go to her workshops. And, it's that rule of, it's better to have 1,000 dedicated fans than 10,000 casual ones, or even 1 million casual ones. And I think she is probably far surpassing that threshold, I would guess. So yeah, this is just another way to do it. I wanted to show this example because it's so kind of far out there. And it just goes to show you, like, if you are good and knowledgeable at speaking about a certain area, whatever it is, you can find a way to find an audience and to build a business around it, and to give people what they're looking for. And I think it's great.
So how did you find this channel? Did this get recommended to you recently? Are you just been a long-time subscriber? How did this pop up for you?
I just got recommended. It's probably a couple months ago or something.
Okay.
I watch a lot of like weird kind of new age stuff. I find it kind of fun, and sometimes people will say things where I'm like, oh, that actually is kind of profound. But there's a lot of, I think, aesthetic to it. And I find it interesting, like who is hijacking the aesthetic and who is actually trying to present like real information. I do feel like the Alchemist, she does a good job of, like, I don't know, I get good takeaways. It's kind of like watching a preacher of sorts.
I was gonna say, like a sermon or something. Like you're finding little gold nuggets that are helping you.
Yes, and I'm not a Christian, but if I watch a good sermon, which I guess occasionally I do, I'll get something out of it. And it's kind of the same idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just got recommended her channel and have watched a lot of her videos. And I find it interesting to look at this as a business as well, because it's a strange thing to make a business out of. So it's a cool case study.
Yeah, it would be funny, I think, in a future episode if you and I did like a compare your homepage versus my homepage on YouTube, right? And see like what's getting recommended to me versus what's getting recommended to you. I think that'd be a good one. We'll have to save that in the bank. What do you think?
I would love to.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Yep.
Okay, would you like me to share a channel that I think is pretty cool?
Do it. Let's
Okay.
see it.
And then here's the difference between Grant and my homepage is right here. So the guy that I'm going to talk about is Dan Coe. He is a guy that has recently started to blow up. I'll go ahead and just share his YouTube channel, and I also have his Social Blade brought up. And this is another guy that's recently just blown up, right? So I don't watch too many of his videos. I've probably seen 5 or 6. But he's kind of talking about productivity. He's talking about creating content. He's talking about running an online business. He's talking about being a one-man business. And you can see like the title of his videos is "You Can't Be Yourself: The Power of Being Alone. 11 Lessons from Growing a 7-Figure One-Person Business. The Rise of the Value Creator. How to Stop Feeling Lost and Anxious and Uncertain About the Future." So very philosophical titles and stuff, but mostly these are kind of like productivity type videos. Become a Digital Renaissance Man. So anyways, he's got 220,000 subscribers, and he has a very cool style, very like black full screen with white text titles. His Instagram has a lot of illustrations of just like diagrams and stuff that could
Can
help
you click on one of his videos? I just want to
Yeah.
see the. I've seen his thumbnails. I don't know if I've ever clicked on one, but it was only a matter of time before I actually saw his channel.
Yeah, and like I said, he's blowing up right now. And so the crazy thing is I'm starting to see him on other podcasts. Like he's starting to build this personal brand, right? He's showing up in in collaborations and stuff. So he's starting to get his fame or whatever, his authority in this world. But yeah, they're just talking head videos with looks like some stock footage. Here's that black text that I'm talking about, where it's just a quote on there basically, or just kind of his philosophies. It's really good stuff. Like I really do enjoy it. Like this video here is 23 minutes long, and I'm not sure if these are fully scripted out and all that, but he says pretty profound stuff often. So I don't know. I'd love to kind of know more about how he scripts these videos. But let me go ahead and pull up his Social Blade, and you will see that this guy has really gone from really a not, I don't want to say a nobody, but you know, an unknown person to being very known. Only got 90 uploads, only 6.6 million views. It's not a lot. 220,000 subscribers. That is a lot. And created in 2016. But let's go and see this growth, the part that we all love, right? So
Whoa,
exactly, that's what I'm saying. So September of 2022, which at this point is 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 months ago, 25,000 views. So September of 2022, 25,000 views that month. The next month, 84,000. And then it jumps all the way up to about 1 million, and then 1.7 million. And then this last month of January 2023, 2.8 million views. So he's gone from not many views all the way up to 2.8 million in just about 4 or 5 months. Pretty impressive. What do you think, Grant?
Yeah, I agree. It's impressive. I'm curious what he did differently, because that's a pretty exponential and quick growth. So was he releasing more videos? Did he change his style? Like what? Because it seemed like he was pretty consistent for a year or two, and then something happened. Like what happened?
Well, it looks like 2 months ago he released a video, "How to Get Ahead of 99% of People." And in 2 months, that video's gotten 1.1 million views. That's his most viewed video. So
Yeah,
there it
that'll
is.
count for a lot.
You're only really one great video away from kind of changing your life, honestly. And 4 months ago, he got his second most popular video. So there it is. Let's take a look at his shorts real quick. His shorts are a little bit different. Like I said, these are, yeah, you see
Wow.
what I'm saying? His Instagram is
cool.
pretty cool. So here's one that has 42,000 views. It's a shorts, and it's called "Don't Tell People Your Goals."
I like that.
And when I click on it, it's literally just like these diagrams and these kind of quotes. A very different approach, basically, to creating shorts. He's not just taking videos and repurposing them. It looks like he's working with an animator, or he knows how to animate. And he's creating some pretty cool little YouTube short videos.
Wow. Yeah, so for those on audio, it's essentially very simple animations, and it's black and white. It kind of matches the vibe of his other videos or of his long form videos, but is also very different. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, and so I would not say that his shorts are the reason that he's growing. I think it's that 1.1 million view video. But this guy does a lot of things right as far as monetizing and that kind of stuff. He's got courses. I think you can book calls with him. I think he's going after it. He's getting after it as far as the personal brand and the consulting fees and that kind of stuff. He's on his way, and it's a cool case because it's a pretty hard niche to get into, and what most people do is all the same, and it seems like he's kind of taking a little bit of a different approach, maybe more philosophical. He's not teaching you exactly how to set up a email autoresponder or how to run a Facebook ad. He's teaching you how not to gain 20 pounds and live a miserable life when you're working an 8-hour-a-day job. I can't really explain it, but it's a different approach. And that's what it's all about. When you enter a niche, like, you want to figure out a way to be different. And I think that's probably the main key for him. And plus the incredible philosophical content that he releases. So I don't know. I thought it was a pretty cool case study.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's also a good example of, you can make videos consistently and you eventually get better. I'm sure if we looked at like his first video, it would leave something to be desired. But then at a certain point, he kind of figured it out and it started taking off. So he clearly has evolved and had a certain amount of patience and also just had the chops. I mean, clearly he's been kind of running his own business behind the scenes the whole time. So he knows what he's talking about. And it's just growth on YouTube can be so exponential.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's not working. It's not working. It's not working. And then all of a sudden you get a video that blows up to 1 million views, and then especially if that video feeds into other videos well, which it looks like his do, because if you run a channel badly, then you might I don't want to say badly, but if you have a video that blows up, but it's not similar to any of the other videos on your channel, then that video doesn't really feed into the rest of your channel. But clearly he's kind of been doing the same kind of, I guess, shtick. And once one video breaks through, then it ends up feeding into the other ones. And that's really important and good to know.
And I think his content, like you said, it's so aligned that it's very bingeable. Like, I could see somebody finding his channel and then waking up every day and be like, all right, I'm going to start my day every day now with watching one of his videos. Right. And they kind of just make that kind of part of the routine. Or every day at lunch, I'm going to sit down. I mean, this is me right now. Like, when I sit down for lunch, like, I get the phone, it's YouTube, it's swipe, 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 swipe. Okay, go back up. Which one do I want out of those 15? There it is. And I'm watching that video, So, yeah, I think it's bingeable content. Okay. So did you have one more that you wanted to bring up, or you want me to finish it off?
I say finish it off.
Okay. I'm going to make this one quick and easy, but this is one that I wanted to get your opinion on because this was actually a prospect for VidShops, and they kind of we were talking a little YouTube and what should we do and how can we grow this channel. And what it is it's a religious channel. It's a church that produces a bunch of content, basically. And they produce content about all kinds of stuff. So we're talking about marriage advice. We're talking about health advice, mental wellness advice kind of content. There's sermons on there that are kind of cut up and put on there. There are, that's about it. And then there's a kind of a series that the pastor does, how to study the Bible. Like how do you should actually go about studying it. I guess it's such a vast thing, and kind of tricky to understand, I think, too. So those are the type of content. So the question that they had was like, should we start a new channel? We're starting to see a lot of kind of not only plateau, but a little dip. And we have all this content is very different. What are your thoughts, Grant? Should they start a new channel, or should they keep uploading these different topics to the same channel?
I mean, I think if it depends how different the style is. Like, is it is the editing profoundly different? Is one like just a straight up sermon, like a recording, and then another one is like a highly edited documentary type of thing? Or
No, I would say the video styles are the same, but the topics are very different, like health, fitness, marriage advice, stuff like that.
I mean, if it's all under the umbrella of God and religion, like if it's kind of tied together like that, then I think you could keep it on the same channel. But if it's just kind of like if the health and fitness stuff was pretty secular, then it might be better to just have it on its own channel.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I told them too. I think that for what they're doing, they have about 40,000 subscribers. Like they're getting some traction. They're gaining subscribers every month. He said it's kind of going down now a little bit, and that's why they're kind of like, should we do something different? But I think if they continue with what they're doing, there could be a time, and they just keep improving it, where they hit that viral video or they get that one that gets traction, and kind of changes things for their channel and starts to see that growth. But if it's 6 months from now and you're releasing, 3 a week or however many you're releasing a week and you're still kind of plateauing or going down, like I would set a date and be like, okay, at this point, we're going to switch it up. Like we're going to go strictly how to learn the Bible, how to study the Bible. That's it. And we're going to start 2 other channels. One's going to be health. The other one's just going to be wellness. And that one's going to have the marriage, the this, the that, anything that's kind of wellness in your life or something like that. That would be my advice, because I do understand, like, if a year from now, if it's still going down, then that probably is the issue, is that your channel just has YouTube. You're confusing the YouTube algorithm, basically. You're saying, oh, we're a wedding channel or we're a marriage channel. Oh, no, we're a fitness channel. Oh, no, we're a religious channel. And so they're never really able to recommend you to the right people.
I would agree with that. I think that's good advice. Because again, unless you're able to tie that all together under one obvious umbrella, where if all of your subscribers are deeply religious and everything that you talk about is somehow going to have a religious overtone, then yes, but it kind of sounds like they should just have separate channels.
Yeah, I agree. So, the wonders of YouTube, there's so many decisions to be made and you just try to make the right ones. But it's tricky sometimes.
Yep, it's not always obvious, but hey, that's why we did an episode like this. There's so many different examples of ways that you can succeed. We've highlighted a few of them here, and I don't know. I'm feeling inspired. Anything from Pineley to the Alchemist to Dan Coe. Like there's a million ways to do it, and don't get discouraged. And even if you remember the first couple channels we talked about, if you have one channel that does super well and it's personality based, then you can start a very low effort channel and get about the same amount of views with way less work. So if that's not motivating, I don't know what is. So so with that, hopefully these examples were helpful. I know they were helpful for me. And with that, remember vidchops.com. Cool thing to check out. Take the burden of editing off your back. A good plug there. Very proud of it. And with that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.